Hi, my name is Kristen Sharp, and I'm a marine biology graduate student at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, or VIMS. At VIMS, I specifically study zooplankton, which are all of the animals that drift around in the ocean, from microscopic little critters that you can just barely see with your naked eye, all the way up to large animals like jellyfish. So my childhood, I actually grew up in central New York State, so I was about 5 hours away from the closest portion of the Atlantic Ocean. I actually never even saw the ocean until I was a teenager, but I always loved learning about the ocean. I watched all the TV shows and movies about the ocean and all of the critters that lived inside of it. I also read a lot about the ocean and learned as much as I possibly could, and I loved learning about animals like dolphins and whales and sea turtles. I also always really liked being outside, and specifically kind of exploring some of the freshwater areas near my house. So I liked swimming and fishing and kayaking and canoeing and all that good stuff. Before starting graduate school here in Virginia, I went to college in Syracuse, New York, which was about an hour away from my hometown, where I majored in environmental studies. So I basically studied the environment as well as the ways that humans interact with the environment. As far as likes, as far as my career goes, I like almost everything. So it's very exciting. I never know what type of animals or what type of day I'll have or see. I also get to go to a lot of really cool places to research marine environments and marine animals, including Antarctica, which I went to last year, which was a really amazing adventure for me. But I just really enjoy that excitement level. I never quite know what I'm getting into every single day. As far as dislikes, I can honestly only think of one. And it's just that my job, because I study things that are so small, it requires microscope work. And when you're looking through the microscope all the time, it can get a little boring sometimes. But most of the time, the only issue that I have with it is that it sometimes hurts my eyes. But other than that, I really truly love what I do. As far as skills for being a successful marine scientist, I would say the first thing that's very important is to do research. So you want to learn as much as you possibly can about the marine environment and marine creatures before starting a college degree program or graduate school. Um, the second thing that I would suggest is that you have a really good attention to detail and you're very patient and focused. So you need to be able to pay attention to what you're doing to make sure that your experiments are running well and that your animals are in good condition or in good health, and also to make sure that your data is correct because you can't have incorrect data as a scientist. You have to make sure that what you're presenting to other people is real. And the third thing that I think is really, really important myself, to be successful as a marine scientist is to be passionate about what you do and to be able to communicate and tell other people about why you think that your work is important and why they should care about your work. You have to have a genuine love for the environment and the creatures that call it home. Why do I think what I do is important? I think it's important because I'm actively helping to protect the ocean, which is a place that's really near and dear and special to me. A lot of people rely on the ocean for their jobs and their livelihood, or their source of food, or their source of enjoyment. So they like doing things out on the ocean, going to the beach, going fishing, going boating, things like that. But also, zooplankton are a very important part of the ocean food web. So, zooplankton eat phytoplankton, which are microscopic little plants that drift in the water, and then in turn, the zooplankton are eaten by a variety of larger animals. And so, they kind of form the base of the food web, and without zooplankton, we wouldn't have a bunch of those amazing creatures that you and I are familiar with and love. And I hope that that gave you a little more insight into what it's like to be a marine biologist and the things that it takes to be successful in this field. If you have any further questions, please feel free to email me. My email address is on the screen, but also feel free to check out our website where you can learn more about the types of science and research that's being done at VIMS.